Hey Big Brother 26 fans, this is your episode 20 recap. This is for Wednesday, August 28th. This is a 2-hour special. We will have the veto comp in this one. Our episode tonight starts off right where we left off on Sunday after the nominations. So we see Cam, Mackenzie, and Tucker are T-Cor's nominees. T-Cor tells us in a diary room she does not care if Mackenzie or Cam leave, she just doesn't want Tucker to leave. She also believes that Tucker could very well win the veto because he's been winning everything. However, she would like him not to use the veto because she doesn't want to put up a replacement, because she doesn't want to hurt another person's feelings. She has her hands in too many alliances, so the only real person she could pick is Leah. We pick our veto players, so it's the 3 nominees and the HOH. Cam's chip gets pulled, so he actually picks Joseph and not Chelsea, and Chelsea's kind of mad about this, but he says he does it because he doesn't want people to think he and Chelsea are aligned because she's the only person he can trust. And then Angela's chip gets pulled as well. So here are our players. Our veto competition is called AI Apocalypse. It's old school Big Brother. There are robots across the room, and on the other platform, the house guests will use a slingshot to hit a robot. Each robot has a different score on them. At the end of each round, whichever house guest has the lowest score is out. Then they will pick their top secret prize or punishment. If you don't like your prize or punishment, you can swap it with somebody who's already opened one. Joseph's the first one out. He gets the veto. Angela is next, and hers is a punishment. It's 24-hour confinement, and it gives a clue that she'd be stuck with Matt from week 1, so she's not having that. She trades with Joseph. Mackenzie's next, and she wins a trip to Hawaii. She actually keeps it, knowing that she probably won't get to keep the veto at the position she's in. T-Cor is next. She also gets a punishment. It's called radiation eradication, and you'll be cleaning up the backyard of toxic waste. So she trades that with Angela. It's down to Tucker and Cam. Tucker is first. He actually misses. He doesn't hit a single robot, so that's a big fat 0. He wins $5,000, and he knows that if he takes the veto, Cam is the last person. He's just going to take it, and very likely his is a punishment. So to help T-Cor, he actually trades with her so that she ends up with the $5,000 prize. Cam opens his prize, and it is a punishment of an AI assistant. You will be dressed up in a costume all week, and you will be looking up answers in an encyclopedia whenever Big Brother asks. Clearly, Cam is trading that with Tucker for the veto. Angela's punishment is to clean up toxic waste from the backyard. She can only use a hand grabber to grab one toxic ball at a time and bring it to the toxic bin waste. She must retrieve 1,000 balls and transfer them in 12 hours, or she cannot play in the next HOH. And whenever radiation levels are high, she has to be sanitized. They show this happening numerous times. She gets out of her toxic waste suit, she gets sprayed with pink slime, and then cold water pours on her. She starts to get upset, she does a lot of crying, but many house guests are out there the whole 9.5 hours it took her to do this to cheer her on. We have some boring AI instigators. I think Tucker really just felt bad about making Rubina cry with the first one, so he's just having them say kind of like nonsense. Matt, remember Matt from week 1? His avatar comes up and he lets the house guests know about Joseph's 24-hour confinement with him. Poor Joseph is locked in the have-not room with a mini version of the avatar of Matt, who talks nonstop about nonsense for 24 hours. I don't know how Joseph did it. We get Tucker in his punishment suit, and we get a full 3-minute clip of him doing stupid encyclopedia stuff, answering questions, The house guests end up in the living room again because this time Tucker's avatar comes on the screen. And with his own avatar, he tells the house guests to not forget that Chelsea and Quinn are aligned and they're sneaky. And T-Cor put Tucker on the block, so now Tucker will be coming for T-Cor. He wanted to make sure he used his own avatar to make sure people aren't thinking he is the instigator. Cam, Rubina, and Mackenzie start to believe that the instigator is actually Angela. When the avatar was talking, apparently they were looking at Angela and she was emotionless, expressionless. They just felt like she knew what was coming. They tell this to Tucker. He doesn't want any blowback on Angela because she is an alliance member, and he truly wants to help her in this game. So he gives Angela a heads up. But she lets that paranoia just start clickety-clackety, and once it's built up too much, she decides it's time to flip on Tucker. So she goes into the pink room where Mackenzie, Quinn, and Leah are. She lets them know that he has put a bunch of stuff in her head and it's time to flip the vote, and they're not going to have him on the block again. They need to get him out now. Quinn says, "Don't worry, we got you. This information will not leave this room." It does leave the room because Quinn goes right upstairs to the HOH and he tells Chemo and Takor about it. Quinn is doing this because he wants to keep Leah safe, and he knows she's a possibility to be a renom. Takor thinks that Quinn should talk to Tucker about this, so he tells Tucker. Tucker is hurt by this, but he decides to confront Angela to find out if it's true. She says that she believes he filled her head, and there's no way that he can expect her to believe that he would actually keep her over Rubina. He says he would vote Rubina out of the house before he would ever think about voting Angela out. He's willing to let this go under the bridge. She just has to say that she trusts him, and she can't do it. Through all this, Tucker tells us in the diary room he's still gonna have her back because he's a man of his word. Cam goes to start the veto ceremony and is interrupted by Ainsley or Big Brother, not sure, to let us know that Joseph is done with his confinement and he can join them. I'm sure he was excited. He didn't have to listen to Matt anymore. Cam obviously uses the veto on himself, and we see Takor puts up Angela. So if you go to CBS.com right now, you can vote for how much money you want Tucker to win. Your options are 0, 5,000, 10,000, and 20,000. Based on how his week went with avatars, what would you give him? Who are you hoping wins the arena? And who do you want to see go home? Leave me a comment. See y'all in the morning.